Hey guys, Justin here. Welcome back to another video. Now, if you saw my top 5 worst maps, worst maps in Enlisted list, you'll probably know what this is going to be. It's going to be the best maps. Now, there was a lot more candidates. This was a lot harder to pick because there's so many good maps in the game. I'm actually going to show some honourable mentions first before I start. So these were some maps which I like, but I just didn't have enough space to put them on. The first one is Kroll Opera House. Now, I really love fighting in the Opera House. The Opera House part of the map is amazing. I just didn't like the start part of Kroll. I think if it was just the Opera House and you're fighting in the Opera House, it would be, in my opinion, an amazing map and would probably be my favourite map. But I don't like fighting. I don't like the more street parts, like the bridge isn't that good in my opinion. Other than that, it was a fine map. Ministry Garden's another good map. I really like the start points. The first 2 points are pretty good, but other than that, it kind of dies after that. The final ones are actually a couple conquest maps, actually, which I really like. First one is Right Chancellery, for the start. Love the Right Chancellery. Really good map. The only 5 points in the game. It's a lot of fun. The fourth map is actually Labrie Conquest. Now, Labrie Conquest it was the map I got the 10 points on, the captured 10 points. So it's honestly, in my opinion, the best map for that. It's really close quarters. The points are basically 50 meters from each other. It's really good. Honestly, it's just an amazing conquest map. And finally, the final one is another conquest map, Manor. I love Manor. It is my favourite This is actually my favourite conquest map in the game. I love it. It's a really, really good conquest map. It's one of my favourites, and it just missed the list. I think if it was top 10, it would probably come in at 6. But yeah, I just had to miss it on the list. It's a great map though. Anyways, that being said, let's move on to number 5 and work all the way down, all the way to number 1. Coming in number 5 is Bellow Lake. Now, I really, really like Bellow Lake. Now, the reason I'm putting Bellow Lake at number 5 is I think it's a really good map for a start. I really enjoy Bellow Lake. It's fun. Like, the points, they're a bit spread out. It does have some, a lot of, empty space in it. But unlike something like, say, for example, Swamps, which has a lot of empty space as well. I'm comparing a conquest map to a invasion map here. But with Swamps, I was complaining about that one having a lot of empty space. But with Bellow Lake, there's some bits in between as well. There's also, of course, the trench system I really like, because I like fighting in trenches. I like fighting, obviously, of course, the buildings are quite good. The lake, obviously, is a very good sniping spot for tanks. And, yeah, it's just fun, And I think the 4th and the 5th point are really, really good. Just great point. Just great, it's just a great map. Really, they really did knock out the park with Bellow. And that's number 5. That just shows how good the maps are coming. Bellow Lake, I said knocked out the park, is number 5. The only real complaint is the final point. I think it's too easy to defend, and it doesn't have what the other maps have, where it's basically a level playing field in attacking and defending. You'll see what I mean when I come to later maps. But I think it's a great map. But I think it's just the other maps were just better in my opinion. Anyways, we're moving into number 4. Coming in for number 4 is Hermingor and Straza. Now, Hermingor and Straza, I just love. First you go into, you start in a bombed out building. After that, you go into that bombed out area. Then you go into the bombed out building. Then it's the parking garage, which is just awesome. I love the parking garage. It's one of my favourite attacking and defending points, because it's just so fun attacking. It's so fun defending. It's fun. Like, Hermingor and Straza is fun. The only real problem I have is the 4th point which is either a death pit or it's in the building. The death pit's fine. Not the death pit. The build, in the room is fine, but the death pit, I absolutely do not like the death pit. And after that, you go into, of course, the points in Right Chancellery, which they're good, I guess, but it's Right Chancellery, so you can't go wrong with that. But I think the only problem with Homegoing Strata is that it peaks really early, but it doesn't have enough momentum at the end to kind of justify getting higher. It's kind of like the opposite of Kroll. Like, I think, had it, say, for example, say you take the first, after the parking garage, it goes into Kroll, I would have probably put this as the best map. Like, I remember when I saw that Kroll in the intro, I said, like, I didn't like the first 2-3 points, whereas Homegoing Strata is the exact opposite. I love the first 3 points, but I hate the final 2. I don't really like the final 2 as much. I mean, had it been like the final 2 being, say, the Kroll Opera House, I reckon it would have been amazing. It could have been, honestly, that would have been an amazing map. And obviously, of course, I don't know how this would work, but yeah, great map, just really, really good, and just it's one of the better maps. Anyways, let me move on to number 3. Coming in at number 3 is Monastery. Now, Monastery, I know people are going to think, Monastery? Monastery sucks. Now, I know Monastery's 4th point is just not that good. It's not the best. But the 4th point is actually a lot of fun. Like, it's really stacked in favour of the defender, but attackers can actually really kind of equalise it. Like, there's a lot of ways the attackers can neutralise it. As well as that, let's just go on to the other good pros. Like, the first 3 points I really like. They're close, they're compact, you're in a block, you're in a city block, it's fast-paced. It's what I love about most maps. The final point is also pretty fun, but I think the main contention is the 4th point, which is, of course, in the gates. Now, I really like the gates. Like, I really like the gate point. It's just awesome. Like, there's no point like it in the game, and I think that's why I like it so much. It's unique. But even then, it's quite fun to defend, and it's actually very fun to attack as well. So, yeah, it's got that going for it. It's a pretty fun... It's just a fun map. Like, I generally would say it could get a little bit... It could be a bit higher, but I really think that the other maps are just so much... I think the other 2 maps are leaps and bounds above Monastery and the other maps. So, yeah, I'm gonna go on to those maps. I'm pretty sure if you know me, you know how much I love Omir. Omir is my favourite map. It's one of my favourite maps in the game. It's my favourite close quarters map. It's the map I give a lot of people, like... I've actually got friends who actively get rid of Omir because they just don't want to run the luck of getting Omir and then having to deal with me because I'm so good at this map. Like, for you who don't know, Omir is probably the most close quarters map in the game, right? I would say it is the most close quarters map in the game. Like, looking at the other maps, really, there's not many that are as close quarters as Omir. And Omir just brilliant map. It's you're smashing into each other. It's great. The canal as well. Like, the canal, you'd think, it's actually brilliant because it allows for longer range fights and it allows for cover on the point. You can cover the point on either side. There's a lot of flanking maps. The town's just amazing for flanking. Now, there is a few problems with Omir compared to other maps. It's basically just copy and pasted. Every build is copy and pasted. Like, I'm pretty sure 2 of the points are the exact same. Like, literally there's at least a few points where they are pretty much identical to each other. And some points you can find on other maps, and like, I think that's the only downside with Omir. But other than that, it's really fun. And I would say it's also probably the most replayable map because it has basically 3 directions. Like, I know other maps like Monastery, like Airfield, like Labrie, and other maps have multiple directions, D-Day, but they're all mostly focused on the same path, like, and there's a little deviation. Omer on the other hand, you can literally go, like, the amount of deviation around the map is insane. Like, you can go, like, zigzagging across the lake, or across the canal, you can go straight up the city, the town, or you can literally just go on the entire left flank of the town. It's like, you have literally no idea when you go into an Omer game, you have no idea what's going to happen. It's probably the most unpredictable map. Like other maps, like say Versamer, you have 3 points around the map. Like after the second point, you can probably get one of 3, and then you get like another 2. But you can kind of predict with those where the next point's going to be. With Omer, again, it's easy to predict if you know the map, but if you don't, you have no idea where the next point's going to be, which is great. I really do love Omer, but unfortunately, it's not my favourite map. Yeah, like it's did some issues with it, so it's not my favourite. Which, of course, I'm pretty sure if you watch me for a good time, you probably know which my favourite map is. Which is, of course, I'm just going to say now. If you, again, like I said, if you've been watching me for a long time, you know how much I love Labrie. Like, Labrie is such a great map. Like, there are a few maps in the game which I think hit the nail, like, knocked it out of the park almost immediately, and Labrie is one of those maps. It started off as a really good inversion because Labrie used to be the only map where the Allies defended on Normandy. Every other map, the Allies attacked. Now, of course, it's a dice roll to see who attacks, who defends. Which is, of course, the same with some other maps. Like, for instance, Bellow here, Quarry, Omer, and Monastery and other maps, But what I think makes Labrie so special is that it caters to all playstyles, right? Every other map in the game caters to mostly one playstyle. Like, for example, Hermingor and Straza close range, Kroll's close range, D-Day long range. Ruins of Val is kind of is similar, but it's not as good as Labrie. Like, Labrie, there is somewhere in the map where everything excels. Close range, first point, fourth point, and fifth point. Longer ranges, second and third point. Tanks, third point. Airplanes, second, third, and third point. It's just like medium range, fourth point, third, and second point. There's, as well as this, the map is huge. Like, there's so many flanking maps for every point. Like the first point, for example, it doesn't matter where, you've got the whole town. You can go through any part of the town. Like, you can go straight through the opening street, you can go through the left flank of the town, the right flank of the town. Then when you get to either the building or the, then you have either the farm building or you have the bunker. And you've got, again, a lot of flanking routes. With those, you have the trench line, you have the tree line, you can go straight down the middle if you're an idiot or suicidal. Even the what's it called? Even the third point, which is the most linear point, has tons of options. You can flank round, and there's a second bridge. Literally, you can flank round, and you can go down. You can go across the bridge. You can go down. You can go off the bridge, and go into the and use the things as cover. There's a trench line to the left of it to the point. So you've got a lot of stuff with that, and yeah, the fourth points can be a bit linear, especially because of how you're attacking, but even then, you have multiple routes of attacking both of them. And the fifth points as well, like, there's 3 of them, and there's, again, multiple routes for attacking. The church, obviously, you can attack from here, you can attack from here, you can attack from here. You can attack from, here, there's a lot of routes to attack the church from. The apartment, again, there's a couple of routes to attack there from. It's just, with Labrie, you have so much options, and I think that's lost on most maps where you only have a straight line to the point. Like, I would say some maps like Hermann-Göring-Strasse and Kroll have that as well. Wilhelmstrasse has it. Königsplatte. Most of the Berlin maps have it, but I don't think any map has it as much as Labrie, which is why it is my favourite map. Great map. Honestly, the best map in the game. And I don't think you'll find anyone who there's few people who will disagree that is a bad map. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe if you have. Check out my bad maps video if you haven't checked that one out. And I'll see you guys in the next one.